Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargava. Welcome to Tit-Bits on Business and Finance with me. The lockdown and the close down of the Indian economy continues. Our economy is in doldrums. The macro fundamentals of the economy have been deteriorating. But India at the moment is no exception in this regard. The global economy is shrinking, the global economy is contracting like never before, and every major economy worth its salt is witnessing deterioration. It continues for us also. Uncertainty prevails about when will the pandemic end. Uncertainty prevails about what damage is it going to inflict, not just in present terms, but in terms of the potential of the economy in the long term. And uncertainty also prevails about what is it going to take in order to revive the respective economies, in order to get back the mojo in the global economy. The uptick and the upsurge that India witnessed in its economy in the month of June was certainly a false dawn. After all, we were trying to compare the state of the economy in June with that in May. At a point when there was a complete lockdown of the economy, they were just not comparable. And therefore, the Oxford Economics Group says that the momentum that was generated in the economy in the month of June was short-lived. And because of that, contraction of the economy is anyway going to resume from Q2 onwards. They say that this bounce in the economy that we saw in the month of June was like that of the bounce of a dead cat. Our Economic Affairs Secretary Shri Tarun Bajaj, a senior IAS officer, says that the government is constantly monitoring the state of the Indian economy. He says that the government constantly monitors 14 critical parameters and he is upbeat about the recovery of the economy. He thinks that there will be a recovery of the economy from early calendar year 21 itself. The fact is that the state of the economy has been deteriorating. It is a worrying situation, and the revival of the economy, its restart, finally depends on when is the pandemic really going to end. As we said, India is not the only one. Take the case of US for example. In the quarter ended June, its economy is said to have contracted by almost 40%, which is a shocking number, but that's the kind of decline that economies have been witnessing. Even the Japanese economy has been witnessing a contraction like never before. The only exception to all this is China. China, where the COVID virus is said to have been invented, and China in the month of July experienced a growth of 3.3% in its manufacturing sector. It was more than the growth it experienced in the month of June also. So China is the only exception. Every other country continues to witness a slowdown of its economy, contraction of the real economy. With the corona pandemic continuing, the focus remains on reading, estimating, analyzing the present state of the economy, seeing what kind of damage is being inflicted on it, and of course, trying to answer the million-dollar question: when will it start its revival and restart, and what will it take to revive the sagging economy? Lots of opinions have been emerging from polls and surveys conducted, and let's have a look at them. A recent Reuters poll of Indian economists had some interesting findings. The first one was that the outlook of the Indian economy has worsened since its last poll. The economists feel that the economic revival package of the government of $266 billion or 20 lakh crores plus, as was claimed, has been ineffective, has not been enough. And they think that it has not been effective because there was no new spending in it, there was no cash support provided to households and to firms, and that there were no tax breaks whatsoever. Economists in this poll think that much more is needed in order to revive the economy, in order to support the economy, because according to them, the last stimulus package was underwhelming. They also estimate that the Indian economy continues to contract. Their estimate on the worse side is that Q1 saw a contraction of the economy to the tune of 30%. Q2 will see a contraction further of 10%. And Q3 is going to witness a contraction of 4%, such that for financial year 21, the Indian economy on the whole is going to contract by 9%, which is quite a disturbing estimate. They also say that the economy, because of this, is witnessing the largest ever drop in its output. A majority of the economists who were polled by Reuters think that it will take at least 2 years for the Indian economy to come back to the pre-COVID levels. Many of them think that it will be at least 2 years plus for the economy to recover to its pre-COVID levels. Some of them think that it will take a year. The economists also warn that there is a high risk of reversal of all the gains of recovery in case the pandemic comes back. That was the finding of the Reuters survey. Let's come to a survey conducted by PWC. The PWC survey says that recovery could happen from June 21 onwards. It says that the Indian economy has declined because of a collapse in demand, because of disruption of the supply chains, and also because of shortage of liquidity. The survey further says that the maximum damage has happened to the infrastructure sector, real estate, manufacturing, retail, media, entertainment, and hospitality. These sectors, according to PwC, have suffered the most. While the surveys of Reuters and PwC paint a grim picture, Deepak Parekh, the chairman of HDFC, has a far more optimistic outlook. Addressing its AGM, Mr. Parekh says that lots of parameters of the Indian economy have improved, and he says that they will improve further in case there is no further lockdown, especially a long and complete lockdown. He says that the parameters will keep improving such that he tells his audience that do not be perturbed or disturbed by any negative reports that come about the growth forecast. According to Mr. Parekh, there has now been a lower rate of unemployment. He points out to the rising numbers of e-way bills, the rising e-toll collections, and the rising GST collections, all to say that things are getting better. He also points out to the revival and demand for two-wheelers and tractors again to point out his optimism. Mr. Parekh further says that the rural economy continues to be the bright spot of the Indian economy at present, and that's because of the good monsoons, the good harvest, the support given by the government, and the Manrega support. Interestingly, he says that the demand for housing loans remains strong, and contrary to what many say, he says that demand for commercial real estate is not going to go down. So this was the state of the Indian economy as estimated by three different sources. The survey by Reuters and the survey by PwC points a grim, but we think a realistic picture. On the other hand, Mr. Deepak Parekh is far more optimistic and upbeat, and we really hope his opinion, his estimate turns out to be true. What are the parameters that we would like to watch out and look out for when we decide the state of the economy and its trend and where is it headed to? The first one that we would watch out is for consumer spending and demand in the economy. If both of them look up, it means the economy is looking up and the GDP has started growing. The second parameter that matters to us is new jobs, build-up of jobs in the economy, and the decline in unemployment. Both of them would again mean that things are getting better. The next one for us that matters is fresh investments and fresh loans towards projects in the economy. Both of them are at a standstill at the moment, and in case they start looking up, it means business confidence and consumer confidence has started coming back, and the economy will start growing at a more better pace. Tax collections, both of income tax and GST, have fallen significantly. The days they start going up, it means the economy has started doing better. We'd also look out for what is the buildup of NPAs in the economy and closures of firms who could not withstand the hardship that came with the lockdown and the close down of the economy. And of course, the most important indicator or parameter to look out for, or the mega event to look out for, is when does the pandemic end? The day the pandemic ends is when the reopening and the restart would actually begin. After all, only when it ends is when we would all be certain about the restart of the economy. That's a parameter that we would be watching, looking out with all our eagerness. This is Akhilesh Bhargava signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.